pregnancy test slipped from Amara's trembling fingers and clattered against the marble floor. Her knees buckled. She gripped the bathroom counter so hard her knuckles went white, staring at the two pink lines that shouldn't exist. No, 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 no. Her reflection in the mirror looked like a stranger. Wide brown eyes, terror carved into every feature, her dark coils falling loose around her face. The bathroom door opened. Jae-won stood there, perfectly composed in his black suit, not a single emotion on that devastatingly handsome face. His dark eyes dropped to the test on the floor, then back to her. How? Her voice cracked. How did this happen? You know how. His tone was ice, cold, clinical. Her heart shattered into a million pieces. That night. You said you'd been careful. You promised. I lied. Everything went silent. The world tilted sideways. What? Jae-won stepped closer, his expensive cologne filling her senses, bringing back memories of tangled sheets and whispered promises she'd believed were real. I planned everything, Amara. The party, the drinks, getting you into my bed. His jaw tightened. The pregnancy. Why? The word ripped from her throat. Why would you do this to me? Because I needed you tied to me. His voice remained emotionless, but something flickered in those dark eyes. Permanently. Amara lunged forward, her hand connecting with his face. The slap echoed through the penthouse. You monster! I trusted you! Jae-won didn't flinch. A red mark bloomed on his cheek, but he just stared at her like she was a problem to be solved. Pack your things. You're moving in today. Like hell I am. She shoved past him, vision blurred with tears. I'm going to the police. I'm telling everyone what you did. His hand caught her wrist, gentle but firm. And who will believe an international student over the heir to the Kwon family empire? The truth of it hit her like a physical blow. She was alone in Seoul. No family, no power, no protection, nothing. 3 months earlier, the club lights strobed purple and gold across the packed dance floor. Amara laughed as her best friend Zara spun her around, both of them singing off-key to the K-pop remix blasting through the speakers. Girl, I needed this, Amara shouted over the music. One more statistics exam and I was going to lose my mind. Zara grinned, her box braids whipping as she danced. That's what I'm saying. You've been buried in books for weeks. It's Friday night. We're supposed to be having fun. Fun, yes, I remember fun. Amara threw her hands up, letting the bass vibrate through her chest. Seoul had been overwhelming when she'd first arrived for her exchange program at Korea University. But nights like this made her feel alive. Free. I'm getting us drinks. Zara grabbed her hand, pulling her toward the bar. That's when Amara saw him. He stood near the VIP section, surrounded by men in expensive suits, but somehow separate from all of them. Tall. Impossibly handsome. His dark hair was styled back, revealing a face that could have been carved from stone. Sharp jawline, high cheekbones, lips that probably never smiled. He wore all black, and even from across the room she could feel the power radiating off him. Their eyes met. Her breath caught. Amara? Zara waved a hand in front of her face. Earth to Amara? Who is that? She couldn't look away. Zara followed her gaze and her eyes went wide. Oh shit, that's Kwon Jae-won. Don't even think about it. Why? Because Zara pulled her closer, lowering her voice. He's dangerous, Amara. Like seriously dangerous. His family basically runs half of Seoul's underground. Clubs, restaurants, import-export businesses that definitely don't just import and export legal things. He's MAFIA? Korean organized crime, Yakuza connections, the whole deal. Zara squeezed her hand. Stay away from him. Guys like that, they chew up girls like us and spit us out. But Amara's eyes drifted back to him. He was still watching her, and now a small smile played at the corner of his mouth. Not warm, calculating. Like he'd just found something he wanted. A server approached them with a tray holding 2 cocktails. Compliments of Mr. Kwon. We didn't order these, Zara said suspiciously. The server gestured to the VIP section. Jaewon raised his glass slightly, that hint of a smile still there. We should go, Zara whispered. Now. But Amara picked up one of the drinks. The liquid shimmered pink and gold under the lights. It's just a drink, Z. What's the harm? Amara. One drink, then we dance, then we leave. She took a sip. It tasted like strawberries and champagne and something else she couldn't identify. Sweet, intoxicating. Zara reluctantly took the other glass. Fine, but we're not going over there. They didn't have to. Jaewon came to them. He moved through the crowd like water, people instinctively parting for him. Up close, he was even more devastating, at least 6'2", with broad shoulders and an aura of controlled danger that made Amara's pulse race. You're exchange students, he said. His English was perfect, barely accented. From where? Nigeria, Amara said, finding her voice. Lagos. His eyes traveled over her face, taking in every detail. What brings you to Seoul? Engineering degree, robotics specialization. She lifted her chin, refusing to be intimidated. What brings you to wherever you come from? Something flickered in his expression. Amusement, interest, family business. Let me guess, import-export? Now he definitely smiled. Something like that. Zara grabbed Amara's arm. We should get back to dancing. One dance, Jaewon said, but he was looking only at Amara. Then I'll let you go back to your friend. It wasn't really a question. Amara should have said no, should have listened to every instinct screaming that this man was danger wrapped in expensive clothes, should have remembered Zara's warning. Instead, she handed Zara her drink and said, "One dance." His hand slid around her waist, pulling her into the rhythm of the music. He smelled like bergamot and cedar, expensive and masculine. His body moved with hers like they'd done this 1,000 times before. Your trouble, Amara said, looking up at him. Yes. I should stay away from you. Probably. His thumb traced small circles on her hip, sending electricity through her skin. Will you? She should have said yes, should have walked away right then. But his dark eyes held her captive, and the music pulsed around them, and the drink made everything feel soft and warm and possible. I don't know, she whispered. Jaewon leaned down, his lips brushing her ear. I do. 2 weeks later, Amara sat in the university library trying to focus on fluid dynamics equations, while her phone buzzed with another text from Jaewon. JW. Dinner tonight? Amara. I have a project due Monday. JW. I'll have you back by midnight, like Cinderella. Amara. Cinderella ran away at midnight. JW. Then I'll make sure you want to stay. She bit her lip, fighting a smile. This was insane. She'd been seeing Jaewon for 2 weeks, and every rational part of her brain said it was a terrible idea. He was dangerous, connected to things she didn't want to think about, lived in a world of violence and power that had nothing to do with her life. But when they were together, he made her feel like the only person in the universe. He listened when she talked about her research, asked intelligent questions, remembered details she'd mentioned in passing. He took her to hole-in-the-wall restaurants where they ate tteokbokki and kimchi jjigae, and to art galleries where they debated the meaning of abstract paintings. He never talked about his family business, and she never asked. You're texting him again, aren't you? Zara appeared, dropping her bag on the table. Girl, you've got it bad. I don't have anything. Amara locked her phone quickly. Lies, you're glowing. You've been glowing for 2 weeks straight. Zara sat down, her expression turning serious. Have you know? No, God, no. We've just been hanging out. Hanging out, right, with the scary hot MAFIA guy who looks at you like he wants to devour you. Heat crept up Amara's neck. It's not like that. Amara. Zara reached across the table, taking her hand. I'm your best friend. I love you. So I'm going to say this with love. Be careful. Guys like Jaewon, they don't date. They possess. They control, and when they're done, they destroy. He's not like that with me. He's different, gentle. They're always gentle until they're not. Zara squeezed her hand. Just promise me you'll protect yourself, your heart, your future. Don't let him make you forget who you are and what you came here to do. Amara nodded, even though part of her wondered if it was already too late. That night, Jae-won picked her up in a sleek black Mercedes. He wore dark jeans and a simple white shirt, the casual clothes somehow making him look even more dangerous. "Where are we going?" Amara asked, sliding into the passenger seat. "Somewhere private." He pulled into traffic, one hand on the wheel, the other reaching over to lace his fingers through hers. "I want you to myself tonight." They drove to Namsun Tower, but instead of joining the tourists, Jae-won led her to a private terrace she didn't know existed. The city spread out below them, a carpet of light stretching to the horizon. "How did you—" "I know people." He pulled her close, his arms around her waist. "I wanted to show you Seoul the way I see it. Beautiful, full of possibilities." Amara leaned back against his chest, letting herself melt into his warmth. "It's amazing." "You're amazing." His voice was low, intimate. "Do you know that? In a city of millions, you shine brighter than all of them." She turned in his arms, looking up at him. "Jae-won, I mean it." His hand cupped her face, thumb brushing her cheekbone. "From the moment I saw you, I couldn't look away. Couldn't think about anything else." "That sounds unhealthy," she tried to joke, but her voice came out breathless. "Probably." His eyes dropped to her lips. "I don't care." When he kissed her, the world disappeared. There was only his mouth on hers, his hands in her hair, the solid warmth of his body pressed against hers. He kissed her like he was drowning and she was air, desperate and consuming and absolutely devastating. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Amara's knees were weak. "Come home with me," Jae-won whispered against her lips. "Please." Every warning bell in her head went off. "I shouldn't." "I know." He kissed her again, softer this time. "But I'm asking anyway." "Zara will kill me. I'll protect you from Zara." "Who'll protect me from you?" Something dark flickered across his face. "No one." She should have run. Should have called a cab and gone straight back to her dorm and blocked his number. Instead, she whispered, "Okay." Jae-won's penthouse was everything she'd expected and nothing she'd prepared for. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Han River, minimalist furniture in blacks and whites and grays, art that probably cost more than her entire education. Drink? He headed to a bar that could have served 50 people. Water. Her mouth was dry, heart hammering against her ribs. He poured 2 glasses, handed her one. Their fingers touched. Electricity. Amara. He set his glass down, turning to face her fully. "If you want to leave, I'll take you home. No questions, no judgment." "I don't want to leave." "Are you sure?" She set her own glass down and stepped into his space, tilting her head back to meet his eyes. "I'm sure." He kissed her again, and this time there was no gentleness, only hunger. He backed her toward the bedroom, their lips never breaking apart, hands exploring, clothes beginning to come undone. The bedroom was massive, dominated by a California king bed with black silk sheets. City lights filtered through sheer curtains, painting everything in silver and shadow. "Last chance," Jae-won said, his voice rough. "Stop giving me chances to run." Amara pulled him down onto the bed. "I don't want them." That night, he was everything. Gentle and demanding, careful and overwhelming, whispering Korean words she didn't understand against her skin. He made her feel cherished and claimed and absolutely consumed. Afterward, they lay tangled together, her head on his chest, his fingers tracing lazy patterns on her shoulder. "Stay," he murmured. "Don't go back tonight. I have class tomorrow." "Skip it." "I can't skip structural engineering. I'll make it worth it." He kissed the top of her head. "I'll make it worth everything." Amara fell asleep in his arms, feeling safer than she'd felt since leaving home. She didn't know it would be the last peaceful night of her life. Present day. Amara stared at the positive pregnancy test, reality crashing down around her. 3 months. She'd been with Jae-won for 3 beautiful, terrible, complicated months, and he'd planned it all. She'd moved into the penthouse after that first night, telling herself it was temporary. Convenient. He was closer to campus than her dorm. The commute made sense. It was just practical. But really, she'd fallen in love with him, with his rare smiles and the way he listened and how he made her feel like the most important person in his world. She'd ignored the late-night phone calls he took in Korean, walking out onto the balcony where she couldn't hear. Ignored the men in suits who sometimes appeared at the door. Ignored every red flag because she was too deep to surface. Now, staring at 2 pink lines, she couldn't ignore anything anymore. The bathroom door opened again. Jae-won filled the frame, still wearing that perfectly neutral expression that gave nothing away. "Get out," Amara said, her voice shaking. "This is my home." "Then I'll leave." She tried to push past him, but he caught her arm. "You're pregnant with my child. You're not going anywhere." "Watch me." She wrenched free, storming into the bedroom. Her hands shook as she grabbed her backpack, started shoving clothes into it. "You can't keep me here. This isn't some K-drama where you lock the girl up. No, it's real life, where I have resources you can't imagine and connections that reach everywhere." He leaned against the doorframe, watching her with those cold, calculating eyes. "You have no money, no family in Korea. Your student visa is sponsored by the university, which receives significant funding from Kwon Enterprises." Her hands stilled. "You wouldn't." "I would do whatever necessary to keep you here." "Why?" She spun to face him, tears streaming down her face. "Why? You can have any woman you want. Why trap me like this?" For the first time, a crack appeared in his armor. His jaw tightened. "Because you're the only one I want." "That's not love, Jae-won. That's obsession. That's—" A sob choked her words. "You destroyed everything. I trusted you. I thought what we had was real." "It is real. Lies are real. Manipulation is real. My feelings are real." He moved toward her and she backed away. Something flashed across his face. "Pain? Everything I feel for you is real, Amara." "You don't get to say my name. Not anymore." She grabbed her backpack, headed for the door. "I'm going to Zara's. Don't follow me." "Amara, I said don't follow me." She ran. Down the hallway, into the elevator, through the lobby while the doorman stared. Out into the cold soul night with tears blurring her vision and a life growing inside her that she hadn't chosen. Behind her in the penthouse, Jae-won stood at the window watching her disappear into the city. His phone rang. "Sir?" His right-hand man, Min-ho. "Should we bring her back?" "No." Jae-won's reflection in the glass looked haunted. "Let her go, for now." "But," "I said let her go." He ended the call, pressing his forehead against the cold window. "I'm sorry, Amara. I'm so fucking sorry." But she was already gone. Zara opened her dorm room door at 2 a.m. to find Amara collapsed in the hallway, crying so hard she couldn't breathe. "Oh my God! Oh my God!" Zara pulled her inside, kicking the door shut. "What happened? What did he do?" "I'm pregnant." The words came out broken. "He planned it. He planned everything. The night we met, getting me into bed, all of it. He said he needed me tied to him permanently." "That bastard." Zara's hands balled into fists. "I'm gonna kill him. I'm literally going to murder him." "Don't." Amara grabbed her arm. "Don't go near him. He's dangerous, Z. Really dangerous." "So what are you gonna do?" "I don't know." Amara curled into herself on Zara's tiny dorm bed. "I have to finish my degree. I have 6 months left. If I drop out now, I lose everything. My visa, my scholarship, my future. Do you want to keep it?" The question hung in the air. Amara's hand drifted to her still flat stomach. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Zara lay down beside her, pulling her close. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Tomorrow we're getting you to a clinic. A real doctor, not just a home test. We need to know how far along you are, what your options are, then we'll figure out the rest. He'll find out. Let him. You're not his prisoner, Amara. No matter what he says, no matter what power he has, you're not his to control. But even as Zara said it, Amara wondered if it was true. She fell asleep crying and dreamed of dark eyes and gentle hands and a voice whispering promises that had all been lies. The next morning, Amara woke to 17 missed calls from J1 and a text that made her blood run cold. JW, we need to talk. I'm outside. She peered through Zara's window. A black Mercedes sat in front of the building. He's here, she whispered. Zara looked out, her face hardening. Stay inside. I'll tell him to leave. Z, don't. But Zara was already storming out. Through the window, Amara watched her march up to the car. Jaewon got out looking like he hadn't slept. His suit was wrinkled, his hair messy. Zara jabbed a finger in his chest, clearly yelling. Jaewon stood there and took it, not arguing back, not defending himself. Finally, he said something that made Zara pause, then shake her head, then reluctantly nod. She came back inside, her expression grim. He wants 5 minutes just to talk. I told him if he touches you, if he tries anything, I'm calling the police. The police can't touch him. Then I'll call his enemies. Someone in this city wants him dead, right? Despite everything, Amara almost smiled. Probably everyone. So, will you talk to him? Amara looked down at her hands, at the invisible life growing inside her, at the future that had been stolen before she even knew she had it. 5 minutes. They met at a coffee shop 3 blocks away, neutral territory. Jaewon sat across from her in a corner booth, looking more vulnerable than she'd ever seen him. Thank you for coming, he said quietly. I didn't do it for you. Amara wrapped her hands around a cup of tea she hadn't touched. I did it because we need to figure out what happens next. I'll take care of everything. Medical care, living expenses, whatever you need. I don't want your money. Amara, how long? She forced herself to meet his eyes. How long did you plan this? He looked away. From the beginning. The confirmation still hurt, even though she'd known. Why? Because I'm not a good man. His voice was rough. I do terrible things for terrible reasons, and I've made peace with that. But then I saw you, and you were light, pure, everything I'm not, and I wanted that. I wanted you. So badly it consumed me. So you decided to trap me. I decided to do whatever it took to keep you in my life. He reached across the table but stopped before touching her. I knew you'd leave eventually, go back to Nigeria, build your life, forget the Korean gangster you slept with for a few months. I couldn't let that happen. So you got me pregnant. Yes. At least he was honest now. Cold comfort. I hate you, Amara whispered. I loved you and now I hate you. Pain flashed across his face, raw and real. I know. What do you want from me, Jaewon? Besides being trapped? Besides carrying your child and giving up my dreams? I don't want you to give up anything. He leaned forward, desperate. Finish your degree. Build your career. I'll support everything. I want to be part of your life. However you'll let me. You should have thought about that before you lied to me. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry, Amara. His hand finally crossed the distance, covering hers. She should have pulled away. Didn't. I'll spend the rest of my life making this up to you if you let me. I don't know if I can forgive this. I'm not asking for forgiveness, I'm asking for a chance. She looked at their hands, his pale and scarred, hers dark and trembling. So different, so impossible. I need time, she said finally, space, to figure out what I want, what's best for me, and She couldn't say the baby yet. Too real. Whatever you need. I'm staying with Zara for now. Okay. Don't follow me. Don't send people to watch me. Don't use your connections to track me. He hesitated, then nodded. Okay. I mean it, Jaewon. If I find out you're having me followed, you won't. I promise. He squeezed her hand gently. I'll wait. However long it takes. Amara pulled her hand back, standing up. I have class. Amara? She paused, looking back. His eyes held so much pain it almost made her forget her own. Almost. For what it's worth, I do love you. I know you don't believe me, but it's true. Love doesn't hurt people on purpose. She walked out, leaving him sitting alone in the booth. Outside, Zara waited. Well? He says he'll give me space. You believe him? I don't know what I believe anymore. They walked to campus in silence, the morning sun bright and cold. Amara had structural engineering at 9, then robotics lab at 11. Normal things, academic things, things that felt impossible now that her entire life had imploded. In class, she couldn't focus. Professor Kim droned on about load-bearing calculations while Amara's hand kept drifting to her stomach. Empty, flat, hiding a secret that would change everything. Her phone buzzed. Unknown. Ms. Amara Okafor. This is Dr. Sarah Park from Seoul Women's Medical Center. Mr. Kwon has arranged an appointment for you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for prenatal care. Please confirm. Amara stared at the message, fury rising in her chest. She'd been gone for 12 hours and he was already trying to control her life. Amara, I didn't ask him to arrange anything. Dr. Park, understood. However, given your situation, prenatal care is important. Would you prefer to schedule independently? We accept international insurance. At least the doctor was being professional, not pushy. Amara, I'll call to schedule. Thank you. She blocked Jaewon's number, then unblocked it, then blocked it again. You're gonna wear out your screen, Zara whispered beside her. He set up a doctor's appointment. Without asking? Without asking? That controlling piece of... Zara caught herself as Professor Kim glanced their way, lowered her voice. You want me to go with you tomorrow? To the appointment? You'd do that. Girl, please. You're my sister from another mister. Of course I'm going. Zara squeezed her hand under the desk. We're in this together. Whatever you decide. Amara felt tears prick her eyes. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Wait till I'm holding your hair while you puke from morning sickness. Despite everything, Amara laughed. It felt good. Normal. Like maybe, possibly, she could survive this. 2 weeks later, Amara was 8 weeks pregnant. The baby was the size of a raspberry, according to Dr. Park. Had a heartbeat. Tiny limbs beginning to form. She'd heard that heartbeat during the ultrasound. Fast and strong. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And everything changed. It wasn't just an abstract concept anymore. It was real. Living. Part of her. So, Zara asked as they left the clinic, what are you thinking? I'm keeping it. Zara stopped walking. You're sure? No, but I can't. I heard the heartbeat, Z. I can't unhear it. Amara pressed a hand to her stomach. This baby didn't ask to be part of Jaewon's manipulation. It's innocent. And maybe this is a chance to do something good out of something terrible. Okay. Zara hugged her tight. Then we're having a baby. We. You think I'm missing Auntie Z duties? Hell no. I'm gonna spoil this kid rotten. They were laughing when a familiar black Mercedes pulled up beside them. The window rolled down. Jaewon looked out, his expression unreadable. I know I said I'd give you space, he said, but I was at a meeting nearby and saw you leaving the clinic. Is the baby okay? Amara wanted to be angry, wanted to accuse him of following her, but he looked genuinely worried, scared even. The baby's fine. Relief washed over his face. And you? I'm managing. An awkward silence. Zara glared daggers at him. I should go, Jaewon said finally. I just wanted to make sure. He stopped, started again. Thank you for telling me. He started to roll up the window. Wait! Amara surprised herself. There's an ultrasound picture. If you want to see. Hope flared in his eyes. Yes, please. She pulled the small black and white image from her bag, walked to the car, handed it through the window. Jaewon stared at it like it was the most precious thing he'd ever seen. This is our baby, yeah. It's so small. Size of a raspberry. A smile tugged at his lips. Soft, genuine. The first real smile she'd seen from him in weeks. A raspberry. Something cracked in Amara's chest. This was the Jaewon she'd fallen for, the gentle one who existed underneath all the cold control. I should go, she said, stepping back. Class. Amara? She looked back. Thank you for this, for letting me see. She nodded, not trusting her voice, and walked away with Zara. You okay? Zara asked. I don't know. Seeing him like that, vulnerable. It reminded me why I fell in love with him in the first place. Don't go soft on him yet. He's got a lot of groveling to do. Oh, I know. Trust me, I'm not forgetting what he did. But as they walked back to campus, Amara couldn't stop thinking about his face when he'd looked at that ultrasound picture, like he was seeing Hope for the first time in his life. The text came at 3 a.m. JW, can't sleep. Keep looking at the picture. Thank you for keeping our baby. I know I don't deserve your kindness. Amara stared at her phone in the darkness of Zara's dorm room. She should ignore it. Go back to sleep. Maintain boundaries. Instead, she typed, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for me. JW. I know, but I'm grateful anyway. Amara. Why did you do it, Jaewon? Really? Not the possessive answer. The real one. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, JW. My world is violence and darkness. People use each other, betray each other. There's no light in it. Then you walked into that club and you were laughing with your friend and dancing like nobody was watching, and you glowed. I wanted that light more than I've ever wanted anything. But I knew someone like you would never choose someone like me willingly, so I took the choice away. I'm not proud of it, but I can't regret it either, because it gave me you, even if just for a while. Tears slipped down Amara's cheeks. Amara, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. JW, it's the truth. I'm sorry I didn't give you a choice. I'm sorry I'm too damaged to love you the right way, but I'm not sorry you're in my life. Amara, I don't know what to do with that. JW, you don't have to do anything. Just know that I mean it. Every word. Amara. Good night, Jaewon. JW. Good night, Amara. Sweet dreams. She put her phone down, but couldn't sleep. Her mind spun with questions and fears and impossible feelings. Across Seoul, in his empty penthouse, Jaewon stared at the ultrasound picture taped to his bathroom mirror. Neither of them slept that night. 1 month later, Amara's morning sickness hit with a vengeance. She spent the first half of her robotics lab running to the bathroom every 20 minutes. Professor Han finally pulled her aside. Ms. Okafor, are you ill? Should you be in class? I'm fine, Professor. Just a stomach bug. He didn't look convinced. Perhaps you should rest. Your performance has been declining. I'll catch up, I promise. But as she bent over her circuit board, the room spun. She grabbed the desk, vision tunneling. Amara! Her lab partner, Min Jun, caught her arm. You're really pale. I just need... Everything went black. She woke up on the floor with Professor Han, Min Jun, and half the class surrounding her. Don't move, Professor Han said. I've called emergency services. No, I don't need... But another wave of dizziness cut her off. You fainted, Ms. Okafor. We need to make sure you're all right. The ambulance arrived. They loaded her onto a stretcher despite her protests. At the hospital, they ran tests while she tried to call Zara. No answer. She was in lecture. Amara lay in the emergency room bay, alone and scared, when the curtain whipped open. Jae-won stood there, looking absolutely terrified. "How did you—" "The university called your emergency contact. I'm listed." He crossed to her bedside in 2 strides, his hand immediately going to her face. "Are you okay? Is the baby—" "We're fine. Just dehydrated and low blood sugar from the morning sickness." Relief made his knees buckle. He sat heavily in the chair beside her bed. "Christ, when they called and said you'd collapsed. You drove here like a maniac, didn't you?" "I may have run several red lights." He took her hand, squeezing gently. "You scared me." "I scared myself." A doctor entered, smiling professionally. "Ms. Okafor, good news. Baby's heartbeat is strong. But your blood pressure is low and you're definitely dehydrated. We're going to give you IV fluids and some anti-nausea medication, safe for pregnancy." "Thank you." The doctor glanced at Jae-won. "Dad, make sure she's eating small meals every 2 hours and drinking plenty of water. The morning sickness should ease up in a few weeks." "Dad." The word hung in the air. "I will," Jae-won said quietly. After the doctor left, they sat in silence while the IV dripped clear fluid into Amara's arm. "You don't have to stay," she said finally. "Yes, I do." "Jae-won, Amara, please. Just let me take care of you, even if you hate me, even if you never forgive me. Let me do this one thing." She looked at him, really looked. He had dark circles under his eyes. His hair was disheveled like he'd been running his hands through it. His suit jacket hung on the back of the chair, his white shirt wrinkled. He looked exhausted, worried, human. "Okay," she whispered. "You can stay." He lifted her hand to his lips, pressing a soft kiss to her knuckles. "Thank you." They stayed like that, his lips against her hand, her eyes closed, both of them breathing, until the IV bag emptied and the nurse came to discharge her. Jae-won drove her back to Zara's dorm in silence. When they arrived, he walked her to the door. "Call me if you need anything," he said. "Anything at all. Even at 3 a.m., I don't care." "Okay." He turned to leave. "Jae-won?" He looked back. "Thank you for coming, for staying." Something bright and painful flickered across his face. Always. Inside, Zara took one look at her and launched into mother hen mode. "Oh my God, Amara! Your lab partner texted me that you fainted. Why didn't you call?" "I tried. You were in class." "So you called him instead?" "The university called him. He's my emergency contact." "Since when?" Amara sank onto the bed. "Since I moved in with him, I guess. I never changed it back." Zara sat beside her, anger melting into concern. "How are you feeling? Really?" Tired, scared, confused. Amara leaned her head on Zara's shoulder. "He was so worried, Z, like genuinely terrified something had happened to me and the baby. That doesn't excuse what he did." "I know, but—" She sighed. "Maybe people can do terrible things and still feel real love. Maybe it's not that black and white." "Girl, you're going soft on him." "Maybe. Or maybe I'm just trying to figure out how to co-parent with someone I have incredibly complicated feelings about." Zara wrapped an arm around her. "Whatever you decide, I'm here. Team Amara all the way. What would I do without you? Crash and burn, obviously." They laughed, and it felt good. Normal. Like maybe life could be normal again. But that night, Amara dreamed of dark eyes and gentle hands, and woke up with tears on her face. 2 weeks later, Amara's phone rang at 11 p.m., unknown number. "Hello? Is this Amara Okafor?" A man's voice, speaking English with a heavy Korean accent. "Yes?" "My name is Lee Sang-woo. I'm calling about Kwon Jae-won." Her heart stopped. "What about him?" "There was an incident, a business dispute. He's been shot." The world tilted sideways. "What? Is he—" "He's alive, in surgery at Asan Medical Center. I thought you should know." The line went dead. Amara stared at her phone, mind blank with shock. "Z." Her voice came out small, broken. "Zara, wake up." "What?" It's the middle of the night. Jaewon's been shot. Zara sat bolt upright. What? Someone just called. Said he's in surgery. I have to go. I have to... Her hands were shaking so badly she couldn't get her shoes on. Okay, breathe. I'm coming with you. They threw on clothes and called a taxi. The ride to Asan Medical Center felt like it took hours, days, forever. Amara's mind spun with possibilities, each worse than the last. What if he died? What if their baby never knew its father? What if the last conversation they'd had was her thanking him for driving her home from the hospital? What if she never got to tell him that maybe, possibly, she was starting to forgive him? The emergency department was chaos. Amara pushed through to the reception desk. Kwon Jae-won. He was brought in with a gunshot wound. The receptionist's eyes widened. Are you family? What was she? Ex-girlfriend? Baby mama? Victim of his manipulation? I'm carrying his child. Something in her desperation must have shown, because the receptionist nodded. Surgical floor. 4th floor, waiting room B. But ma'am, there are a lot of... His associates are there. Be careful. They took the elevator up. The doors opened to reveal at least 20 men in suits, all looking dangerous and alert. At the center sat an older man with gray hair and a face carved from stone. Kwon Dae-jung, Jae-won's father, the head of the Kwon family. Every eye turned to her. Who are you? Dae-jung asked in Korean. I'm Amara Okafor. She switched to English, straightening her spine. I'm here for Jae-won. You're the African girl. His eyes dropped to her stomach, which was just beginning to show. The pregnant one. Yes. He studied her for a long moment, then nodded to the men. Let her through. They parted like the Red Sea. Amara walked through with Zara close behind, feeling dozens of eyes tracking her movement. A doctor emerged from the surgical suite. Family of Kwon Jae-won? I'm his father, Dae-jung said. How is my son? The bullet missed all major organs. We've removed it and repaired the damage. He was very lucky. He'll need to stay for observation, but he should make a full recovery. Relief hit Amara so hard her knees buckled. Zara caught her. When can I see him? Dae-jung asked. He's in recovery now. Once he's stable, we'll move him to a private room. Immediate family only. Dae-jung's eyes slid to Amara. She can see him too. She's carrying my grandchild. The words hung in the air. Official recognition from the head of the family. Amara didn't know whether to be relieved or terrified. Very well, the doctor said. We'll notify you when he's ready. 2 hours later, they let Amara in first. Jae-won lay in the hospital bed, pale and still. Tubes and wires connected him to machines that beeped steadily. A bandage covered his left shoulder. Amara approached slowly like he might disappear if she moved too fast. Hey, he said, his voice rough. His eyes were open, watching her. You came. Of course I came, you idiot. She sat in the chair beside him, tears streaming down her face. You got shot. Business hazard. He tried to smile, winced. Comes with the territory. That's not funny. Wasn't trying to be. His right hand, the one without the IV, reached for hers. I'm okay, Amara, I promise. You were in surgery. You could have died. But I didn't. But you could have. Her voice broke. And I would have. The baby would have. Understanding dawned in his eyes. You were worried about me. Of course I was worried. You think I want my child's father dead? That's not what I mean. He squeezed her hand gently. You still care. Even after everything. You still care about me. She wanted to deny it. Wanted to say she was only there for the baby's sake. But sitting beside him, looking at his pale face and the bandage over his shoulder and the machines keeping him alive, she couldn't lie. Yes, she whispered. I still care. I hate that I do. But I do. Amara, don't say anything. I'm too tired to fight right now. She pressed her free hand to her stomach. The baby and I, we need you alive. So please, Please be more careful." "I will, I swear." He brought her hand to his lips, kissing her palm. "I'm sorry you were scared. I thought I'd lost you." The confession slipped out. "I thought I'd lost you before I could figure out if I could ever forgive you." "Can you?" His dark eyes held desperate hope. "Someday? Even a little?" Amara looked at their joined hands, his pale and scarred, hers dark and trembling, at the monitor showing his heartbeat, at the life growing inside her that connected them forever. "Ask me again when you're not high on pain medication and I'm not emotionally compromised." "That's not a no. It's not a yes either. I'll take it." He smiled, real and soft and devastating. "I'll take anything you'll give me." A nurse entered. "Sorry, but we need to keep him calm. You should rest, Mr. Kwan." 5 more minutes, Jaewon said, not looking away from Amara. "Please." The nurse sighed but nodded, leaving them alone. "Your father's here," Amara said. "He called me family, said I'm carrying his grandchild." "He's not wrong." It felt official, scary. "He won't hurt you. I'd die before I let anyone in my family hurt you." "You almost did die, you dramatic idiot." He laughed, then winced again. "Don't make me laugh. Hurts." "Good. You deserve to hurt for scaring me like that." They sat in silence, hands intertwined, until Jaewon's eyes started to droop. "Sleep," Amara said softly. "I'll be here when you wake up." "Promise?" "Promise." She stayed until he fell asleep, then kissed his forehead gently and left. Outside, Daejung waited alone. The other men had dispersed. "Ms. Okafor," he gestured to a chair. "Sit. We should talk." Amara glanced at Zara, who nodded encouragement and sat. "My son cares for you very much," Daejung said. His English was perfect, barely accented. Enough to take a bullet meant for someone else. The shooter was aiming for his business partner. Jaewon pushed him out of the way. He's a hero then. He's an idiot, but he's my idiot. Daejung's expression softened slightly. "I know what he did to you, how he manipulated the situation. He told me everything when he found out you were pregnant." Amara's breath caught. "He told you." "He wanted my advice on how to fix it. I told him there was no fixing it, only honesty and time." Daejung leaned forward. "My son is not a good man, Ms. Okafor. He's done terrible things in service of this family, but his feelings for you are real. That baby you're carrying, he talks about it constantly, shows everyone the ultrasound picture. He's already planning a nursery, buying books about fatherhood." Tears slipped down Amara's cheeks. "I don't know what you want me to say." "I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to know that whatever you decide, whether you forgive him or not, whether you stay or leave, you and that baby will always have the Kwan family's protection." His eyes hardened. "Anyone who threatens you threatens us. Understand?" It should have been scary, threatening even. Instead, it felt like safety. "Thank you," Amara whispered. "Don't thank me. Thank my son for finally finding something worth living for besides revenge and power." Daejung stood. "Go home. Rest. He'll be fine. I'll have someone drive you." "I can take a taxi." "You're carrying my grandchild. You take the car." There was no arguing with that tone. Zara and Amara rode back to campus in a Mercedes with a driver who didn't speak the entire way. "That was intense," Zara said once they were back in the dorm. "That was terrifying, but also kind of sweet in a scary mobster grandpa way." Amara laughed despite herself. "God, my life is insane." Girl, that's the understatement of the century. But as Amara lay in bed that night, she couldn't stop thinking about Jaewon's face when she'd said she still cared, like she'd given him the world. 3 days later, Jaewon was discharged from the hospital with strict orders to rest. Against everyone's advice, he showed up at Zara's dorm. Amara opened the door to find him standing there with his arm in a sling, holding a bag from her favorite Korean restaurant. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "You're supposed to be resting." I am resting. Sitting in your dorm room counts as resting. He held up the bag. I brought kimchi jjigae, extra tofu, just how you like it. Her traitorous stomach growled. She'd been craving kimchi jjigae for days. You can't just show up. I know, but I did anyway. His expression turned serious. I almost died, Amara. It put things in perspective. Life's too short to waste time staying away from the people you love. J1. Just dinner. That's all I'm asking. Let me feed you and the raspberry. The baby's not a raspberry anymore. It's the size of a strawberry now. His face lit up. A strawberry? Really? Despite everything, she smiled. Really? Then let me feed you and the strawberry, please. Zara appeared behind Amara. Let him in before the whole floor smells that delicious food. So Amara stepped aside, and J1 entered the tiny dorm room. They sat on the floor, eating straight from the containers because Zara's kitchen supplies consisted of 2 forks and a coffee mug. This is amazing, Amara said, around a mouthful of soft tofu. I've been craving this for days. I know. You texted about it at 2 a.m. last week. I did. You were half asleep, probably don't remember. He watched her eat with obvious satisfaction. I'm glad you're eating well. You need to gain weight for the baby. Are you calling me skinny? I'm calling you perfect and saying the strawberry needs nutrition. Zara made a gagging noise. You two are disgustingly cute when you're not being tragic. We're not cute, Amara protested. We're a little cute, J1 said at the same time. Their eyes met. Both smiled. Zara threw a pillow at them. Get a room. Oh, wait, you did. And look where that got you. Zara! Amara's face heated. What? I'm just saying. J1's phone rang. He checked it, expression darkening. I need to take this. Work. He stepped into the hallway. Through the door, they could hear his voice drop into cold, commanding Korean. This was the other J1, the dangerous one. When he came back, the warmth was gone from his eyes. I have to go. There's a situation. He looked at Amara. Lock your door tonight, both locks. Don't open it for anyone except people you know. Fear spiked through her. What's happening? Nothing you need to worry about. Just be careful, please. He kissed the top of her head, a gesture that felt natural, automatic, and left. Amara turned to Zara. Should I be worried? Probably, but worrying won't help. Zara locked both locks as J1 had instructed. Want to watch a movie and pretend your baby daddy isn't a scary crime boss? Yes, please. But Amara couldn't focus on the screen. Her mind kept spinning with questions and fears. What kind of life was she bringing her child into? 1 week later, finals week hit like a tsunami. Amara buried herself in robotics projects and engineering exams, trying not to think about J1 or the baby or her impossible future. She was in the library at midnight working on a circuit design when her phone buzzed. JW. How's studying? Amara. Exhausting. How's your shoulder? JW. Healing. I miss you. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She shouldn't engage, should maintain distance. Amara. I miss you too. Fuck. Why did she type that? JW. Can I see you? After finals? No pressure, just... I want to see how you're doing, how the strawberry is. Amara. Okay. Saturday. Coffee. JW. I'll be there. Saturday came too quickly and not quickly enough. Amara changed outfits 5 times before Zara physically dragged her out the door. It's coffee, not a wedding. Stop overthinking. I'm not overthinking. You're wearing makeup. You never wear makeup to meet him. I just wanted to look nice. Uh-huh. Zara smirked. Girl, you're falling for him all over again. I am not. You're totally falling for him. The pregnancy hormones are scrambling your brain. Maybe Zara was right. Because when Amara saw J1 waiting outside the coffee shop, her heart did a stupid flip. He wore jeans and a sweater, casual and perfect. His arm was out of the sling. When he saw her, his entire face transformed with a smile. Hi, he said softly. Hi. They got coffee, decaf for her, and walked along the Han River. The December air was cold but clear, the city sparkling around them. "How'd finals go?" Jaewon asked. "Good. I think I aced everything except structural analysis, but I only need a B in that class to keep my scholarship." "You'll get an A. You're brilliant." "Flattery won't make me forgive you faster." "I'm not trying to flatter. I'm stating facts." He stopped walking, turning to face her. "Amara, I know I don't deserve another chance. I know what I did was unforgivable, but I need you to know that I'm trying. I'm in therapy now, learning how to be a better person. For you, for the baby." Her breath caught. "You're in therapy?" "Twice a week. My therapist says I have control issues stemming from childhood trauma and attachment problems." He smiled wryly. "Turns out growing up in organized crime isn't great for healthy relationship patterns. Who knew?" Despite everything, Amara laughed. "You're really trying." "I'm really trying." He reached out, hesitated. "Can I?" She nodded. His hand settled on her stomach, now visibly rounded under her coat. The baby chose that exact moment to flutter. "Was that?" Jaewon's eyes went wide. "The baby? Yeah, first time I felt movement." "Our baby just kicked." He looked like he might cry. "Amara, our baby just kicked." "I know." Tears streamed down her face. "I know." They stood there on the riverbank, his hand on her stomach, both of them crying, while the city moved around them. "I'm falling in love with you again," Amara whispered, "and I hate it, because I don't know if I can trust you, if I can trust this." "I'll spend every day proving you can." Jaewon cupped her face with his free hand, wiping her tears with his thumb. "I'll spend the rest of my life earning your trust back, however long it takes." "What if it takes forever?" "Then I'll love you forever while I wait." He kissed her then, soft and desperate and full of promises. She kissed him back, tasting salt from both their tears. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, Amara rested her forehead against his. "I'm not saying I forgive you," she said. "Not yet, but I'm saying maybe, someday, if you keep trying." "I'll keep trying." He kissed her again, gentler this time. "I promise." They walked back to campus hand in hand, talking about baby names and nursery colors and the future. For the first time in months, that future felt possible. 2 months later, 5 months pregnant. Amara moved back into the penthouse, not because Jaewon pressured her, but because Zara's dorm was too small and the morning sickness had evolved into constant back pain, and she needed a real bed in a bathroom that wasn't shared with 20 other students. Jaewon had converted the guest room into a nursery. Soft gray walls, a white crib, shelves already full of books and stuffed animals, a rocking chair by the window overlooking the river. "You did all this?" Amara stood in the doorway, hand on her growing belly. "Minho helped. I'm not good at decorating." He stood behind her, arms wrapping carefully around her waist. "Do you like it?" "It's perfect." She leaned back against him, but also presumptuous. "What if I'd decided not to come back?" "Then it would have been a very sad nursery that I'd visit alone and cry in." "That's pathetic." "I'm pathetic when it comes to you." She turned in his arms, looking up at him. "We're really doing this? Co-parenting, living together, trying to make this work?" "If you'll let me." "I have conditions." "Name them." "First, no more lies, ever. I don't care how ugly the truth is. You tell me." "Done." "Second, I get my own room. We're not together. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But we're partners in raising this baby." His jaw tightened, but he nodded. "Done." "Third, you let me finish my degree. No interference. No making things easier because of your connections. I earn my own grades." "Done." "Fourth, you continue therapy, and when the baby comes, we do couples counseling too." "Absolutely." "And fifth," she took a breath, "you tell me about your work, the dangerous parts, the illegal parts, all of it." Because I need to know what world my child is being born into." This time he hesitated. "That's not safe." "I don't care. I deserve to know." "Amara, you said no more lies. You said whatever I wanted. This is what I want. Honesty. Complete honesty." He stared at her for a long moment. Finally, "Okay, I'll tell you everything. But not tonight. Tonight, let's just be us. Can we do that?" "Okay, tonight we're just us." He kissed her forehead. "I made dinner. Korean-style short ribs. The baby likes those, right?" "The baby likes everything. I'm eating for two and gaining weight like crazy." "You're beautiful. I'm enormous. You're carrying our child. That makes you the most beautiful woman in the world." Smooth talker. Only when it's true. They ate dinner on the balcony, watching the sun set over Seoul. Talked about her upcoming semester and his latest business expansion. Legitimate business, he clarified. A new restaurant franchise. "I'm trying to go legal," he admitted. Slowly. "The family business will always have elements. But I want our child to have a father they can be proud of, not one they're ashamed of." "That's a good goal." "It's a hard goal, but for you, for the strawberry, the baby's a bell pepper now. For you and the bell pepper, I'll do anything." That night, as Amara lay in her room, with her own space, she heard Jae-won moving around the penthouse, setting up a baby monitor, testing smoke detectors, being responsible. Maybe, she thought, people really could change. Maybe love really could heal things. Maybe their disaster of a beginning could still have a happy ending. 2 weeks later, Amara woke to shouting. She stumbled out of bed at 3 a.m., following the noise to Jae-won's office. The door was closed, but his voice carried through, speaking rapid, angry Korean. She shouldn't eavesdrop. She pressed her ear to the door anyway. "Don't care what the Yakuza want. Tell them the shipment's delayed. No, not because of her. This has nothing to do with Amara." Her blood ran cold. "I said no. If they have a problem with it, they can take it up with my father. I'm done risking everything for—" The door opened suddenly. Amara stumbled forward. Jae-won caught her, phone still pressed to his ear. "I'll call you back," he said in Korean, ending the call. "How much did you hear?" "Enough." She pulled away from him. "Yakuza? Shipments? What the hell, Jae-won?" "It's complicated, then uncomplicated. You promised honesty." He ran a hand through his hair, looking exhausted, defeated. "Come sit, I'll tell you everything." They sat in his office, all dark wood and expensive furniture, while he laid out the truth. His family's empire, the restaurants and clubs and import businesses that were fronts for weapons trading, money laundering, protection rackets. His role as the heir, expected to take over when his father retired. The dangerous alliances with Japanese Yakuza and Chinese triads. The violence, the blood. "I've killed people," he said quietly, "in self-defense, in protection of the family, but I've killed people, Amara." She should have run, should have grabbed her things and never looked back. Instead, she asked, "Are you trying to get out?" "I'm trying to transition to legitimate business, keep the restaurants and clubs, drop the illegal operations. But it's not that simple. You don't just leave this life. People disappear for trying." "So you're trapped." "I'm trapped." He looked at her, eyes full of pain. "But I'm trying to build an exit for our child, so they can have a normal life, a safe life." "How long will that take?" "Years, maybe 5. Maybe 10, maybe never." Amara pressed her hands to her stomach, feeling the baby move inside her, her bell pepper, her miracle, her impossible situation. "I can't raise a child in danger," she said. "I won't." "I know. That's why I'm doing this. Why I'm making enemies and taking risks and restructuring everything, because I want our child to be safe." "What if you can't protect us?" "Then I'll die trying." The certainty in his voice terrified her, comforted her, broke her heart. "This is insane," she whispered. "My whole life is insane." I know, I'm sorry. He moved to kneel in front of her, taking her hands. If I could go back and change how we started, but you can't. But I can't. He pressed his forehead to her knees. So all I can do is move forward, be better, build something worth having. Amara ran her fingers through his hair, feeling the tension in his shoulders. This man, this complicated, dangerous, devoted man. I'm scared, she admitted. Me too. But I'm not leaving. Not yet. Not while you're trying. He looked up, hope and relief washing over his face. You're staying? I'm staying for now. But Jaewon? She cupped his face. If you ever put our child in danger, if your past comes for us and you can't stop it, I will disappear with the baby, and you'll never find us. Understand? I understand. Good. She stood, pulling him up with her. Now come to bed. The baby needs rest, and so do I. Your bed or mine? She hesitated. Then, yours. Just sleeping. But yours. The smile that broke across his face was worth everything. 1 month later, 6 months pregnant. Push, 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 Zara yelled. I'm pushing. Amara groaned, straining. You're not pushing hard enough. The hell I'm not. Ladies. Professor Hahn's patient voice cut through their bickering. This is a robot arm assembly, not a battlefield. Please work together. Amara and Zara were partnered for their final robotics project, a fully articulated robotic arm with haptic feedback. They'd been working on it for weeks, and it was finally coming together. Sorry, Professor, they said in unison. As they worked, Amara's phone buzzed. JW, doctor appointment at 3. I'll pick you up at 2:30. Amara, you don't have to come to every appointment. JW, yes I do. It's in the dad handbook. Amara, there's a dad handbook? JW, I bought 7 of them, plus 3 pregnancy books, a childbirth class curriculum, and a subscription to Modern Father magazine. Amara, you're ridiculous. JW, I'm thorough. Zara read over her shoulder and grinned. He's kind of adorable when he's not being a terrifying crime boss. Don't let him hear you call him adorable. He'll have an identity crisis. At 2:30 exactly, Jaewon pulled up in the Mercedes. Amara waddled to the car. 6 months pregnant meant waddling was now her primary mode of transportation. You look beautiful, he said, kissing her cheek. I look like I swallowed a watermelon. A beautiful watermelon. That doesn't even make sense. Neither does how much I love you, but here we are. The words slipped out so casually, so naturally, like he'd been saying them forever. Amara's breath caught. You love me? Jaewon's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Yes, I love you. I've loved you since the night we met, and I'll love you until the day I die. I know you're not ready to hear it. I know you might never love me back, but I'm tired of not saying it. Jaewon, you don't have to say anything. I just needed you to know. They drove to the hospital in silence, but Amara's hand found his over the gear shift, squeezing gently. At the appointment, Dr. Park did a full ultrasound. The baby, now officially a small cauliflower according to the development app, was healthy and active. Would you like to know the sex? Dr. Park asked. Amara looked at Jaewon. Do we? Whatever you want. I want to know. Dr. Park smiled. It's a girl. Congratulations. A girl. Amara watched Jaewon's face transform. Shock, joy, terror, love, all of it cascading through his expression at once. A daughter, he whispered. We're having a daughter. A daughter, Amara echoed, tears streaming down her face. Jaewon kissed her then, in front of Dr. Park and the nurses, kissed her like she'd just given him the world. I love you, he said again, against her lips. I love you so much. And this time, Amara whispered back, I love you too. Because she did, despite everything. Despite the lies and manipulation and impossible circumstances, despite knowing better, knowing the risks, knowing this love could destroy her, she loved him. Really? Jaewon pulled back, searching her eyes. You mean it? I mean it. I'm probably crazy and Zara's definitely going to kill me, but I mean it. I love you, Kwon Jae-won. He kissed her again, deeper this time. When they finally broke apart, both were crying. Best doctor's appointment ever, Dr. Park said dryly. Now, let's talk about birth plans. They spent the next hour discussing labor, delivery options, and postpartum care. Jae-won took notes in a leather journal, asking detailed questions like he was preparing for a military operation. You know you can't plan everything, right? Amara said as they left. Birth is unpredictable. I can try. He opened the car door for her. I've already contacted 3 of the best midwives in Seoul as backup options, and I'm having the penthouse medical proofed, extra first aid supplies, clear routes to the hospital, emergency contacts. You're going to give yourself a heart attack before the baby even arrives. Probably. He slid into the driver's seat. But she'll be safe. That's what matters. She. Amara rested her hand on her belly. We're having a daughter. We need to pick names. I was thinking, if you're okay with it, Zara for the middle name. She's been my rock through all of this. Zara's perfect. First name? I want something that works in both Korean and English, something strong. How about Ji-yoon? It means wisdom and intellect in Korean and sounds similar to the English name Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon Zara Kwon. Amara tested it out. I like it. But she gets my last name too, Okafor, Ji-yoon Zara Okafor Kwon. Deal. He brought her hand to his lips. Our daughter, Ji-yoon. That night they fell asleep in his bed, really fell asleep, no pretense of separate rooms anymore. His hand rested on her belly, feeling Ji-yoon kick and move. I'm going to be such an overprotective dad, he murmured. Oh, I know. Our daughter's going to hate you when she's a teenager. She can hate me as long as she's safe. Amara turned in his arms, looking at his face in the darkness. Thank you. For what? For trying, for changing, for loving us enough to become a better person. Thank you for giving me a reason to try. They kissed, soft and slow, the baby moving between them like she was trying to join in. Outside, Seoul glittered with 1,000,000 lights. Inside, 3 hearts beat together. Finally, everything felt right. 2 months later, 8 months pregnant. Oh my God, I can't see my feet anymore. Amara waddled around the penthouse like an angry penguin. This is ridiculous. I'm enormous. You're glowing, Jae-won said from the couch. I'm sweating. There's a difference. Still beautiful. You have to say that. I'm carrying your baby. I'd say it, even if you weren't. He stood, crossing to her. Dance with me. Dance? I can barely walk. So we'll sway. He pulled her close as her belly would allow, and started moving slowly to non-existent music. Remember the first time we danced? At the club, when I should have run screaming. But you didn't. Worst decision of my life. She smiled. And the best. They swayed together, her head on his chest, his hands supporting her lower back. Ji-yoon kicked enthusiastically between them. She's going to be a dancer, Jae-won said. She's going to be an engineer like her mom. She can be both. She can be anything she wants, as long as it's legal. Definitely legal. I'm done with illegal. He kissed the top of her head. The family business is officially going legitimate. My father agreed. We're selling off the underground operations to the Yakuza and focusing on restaurants and real estate. Amara pulled back to look at him. Really? You did it? I did it. It'll take time to fully transition, but the dangerous parts are done. Our daughter will grow up safe. Jae-won. Tears welled up. You really did it. I told you I would. For you. For Ji-yoon. For us. She kissed him, pouring everything she felt into it. Gratitude, love, hope. The doorbell rang. That's Zara. Amara pulled away. She's bringing her boyfriend over to meet you. Boyfriend? Since when does Zara have a boyfriend? Since last month. His name is Min-jun. He's in our robotics program. Jae-won opened the door to reveal Zara and a tall, lanky Korean guy with nervous eyes and a sweet smile. Jae-won, this is Min-jun. Min-jun, this is the scary crime boss who knocked up my best friend. Zara! Amara swatted her arm. What? I'm introducing you accurately. Min-jun looked like he might faint. Nice to meet you, sir. Jae-won is fine. He shook Min-jun's hand firmly. And I'm not a crime boss anymore. I'm a restaurateur. A restaurateur who used to be a crime boss, Zara clarified. You're not helping, Amara hissed. They sat down to dinner, Korean barbecue that Jae-won had catered from his best restaurant. Min-jun slowly relaxed as they talked about robotics, engineering, and Seoul's tech scene. So how did you two meet? Jae-won asked. Robotics lab, Zara said, leaning into Min-jun's side. He was my project partner after Amara got too pregnant to reach the circuit boards. I helped, Amara protested. You supervised while eating kimchi. Supervising is helping. Everyone laughed. The evening felt normal, easy, like they were just four young people enjoying dinner, not a former crime boss, a pregnant exchange student, and two engineers trying to figure out life. After dinner, Zara pulled Amara aside while the men cleaned up. You look happy, she said softly. Really happy. I am happy. Terrified and hormonal and enormous, but happy. He's good for you. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but he is. You like him now? I like that he loves you enough to change his entire life. That counts for something. It counts for everything. Amara hugged her best friend. Thank you for being here, through all of it. Please. You're stuck with me forever now. I'm going to be the cool Auntie Z who teaches Ji-yoon all the bad words. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes. They returned to find Jae-won and Min-jun talking quietly in Korean. Both men looked up when they entered, smiling. What were you talking about? Zara asked suspiciously. Business, Jae-won said innocently. What kind of business? The legal kind. I'm investing in Min-jun's robotics startup. You have a startup? Zara spun to Min-jun. I was going to tell you, he said sheepishly. It's still in early stages, but Jae-won thinks it has potential. It has massive potential, Jae-won corrected. I'm putting in initial capital. Min-jun keeps full creative control. Amara watched them, warmth spreading through her chest. This was family, chosen family built from broken beginnings. Later, after Zara and Min-jun left, Amara and Jae-won lay in bed together. That was nice, she said, having friends over, feeling normal. We can have normal now, he stroked her hair. No more danger, no more secrets, just us and the life we're building. I like the sound of that. Ji-yoon kicked hard, making them both laugh. She's got opinions, Jae-won said, pressing a kiss to Amara's belly, just like her mom. She's going to have us wrapped around her tiny finger. Completely. He moved back up to kiss Amara properly, just like her mom. They fell asleep tangled together, the baby moving between them, the city lights painting their room in silver and gold. 3 weeks later, 8.5 months pregnant, Amara's water broke during her advanced robotics final exam. Oh no, she whispered, staring at the puddle spreading around her chair. Professor Han looked over. His eyes went wide. Is that my water? Yeah. Amara stood carefully. I'm so sorry. I'll reschedule. You will not reschedule. You're having a baby. He started herding everyone out. Class dismissed. Ms. Okafor is in labor. But the exam, I'm giving everyone an A. Go to the hospital. Zara grabbed Amara's bag while calling Jae-won. Code baby. I repeat, code baby. On my way. Jae-won's voice came through the speaker. 10 minutes. We don't have 10 minutes. Her water broke. 7 minutes. He made it in 5, screeching to a halt outside the engineering building. Minho jumped out to open the back door, helping Amara inside. The words slipped out so casually, so naturally, like he'd been saying them forever. Amara's breath caught. You love me? Jaewon's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Yes, I love you. I've loved you since the night we met, and I'll love you until the day I die. I know you're not ready to hear it. I know you might never love me back, but I'm tired of not saying it. Jaewon. You don't have to say anything. I just needed you to know. They drove to the hospital in silence, but Amara's hand found his over the gear shift, squeezing gently. At the appointment, Dr. Park did a full ultrasound. The baby, now officially a small cauliflower according to the development app, was healthy and active. Would you like to know the sex? Dr. Park asked. Amara looked at Jaewon. Do we? Whatever you want. I want to know. Dr. Park smiled. It's a girl. Congratulations. A girl. Amara watched Jaewon's face transform. Shock, joy, terror, love. All of it cascading through his expression at once. A daughter, he whispered. We're having a daughter. A daughter. Amara echoed, tears streaming down her face. Jaewon kissed her then, in front of Dr. Park and the nurses. Kissed her like she'd just given him the world. I love you, he said again against her lips. I love you so much. And this time, Amara whispered back, I love you too. Because she did, despite everything. Despite the lies and manipulation and impossible circumstances, despite knowing better, knowing the risks, knowing this love could destroy her, she loved him. Really? Jaewon pulled back, searching her eyes. You mean it? I mean it. I'm probably crazy, and Zara's definitely going to kill me, but I mean it. I love you, Kwon Jaewon. He kissed her again, deeper this time. When they finally broke apart, both were crying. Best doctor's appointment ever, Dr. Park said dryly. Now let's talk about birth plans. They spent the next hour discussing labor, delivery options, and postpartum care. Jaewon took notes in a leather journal, asking detailed questions like he was preparing for a military operation. You know you can't plan everything, right? Amara said as they left. Birth is unpredictable. I can try. He opened the car door for her. I've already contacted 3 of the best midwives in Seoul as backup options, and I'm having the penthouse medical proofed, extra first aid supplies, clear routes to the hospital, emergency contacts. You're going to give yourself a heart attack before the baby even arrives. Probably. He slid into the driver's seat. But she'll be safe. That's what matters. She. Amara rested her hand on her belly. We're having a daughter. We need to pick names. I was thinking, if you're okay with it, Zara for the middle name. She's been my rock through all of this. Zara's perfect first name? I want something that works in both Korean and English, something strong. How about Ji-yoon? It means wisdom and intellect in Korean and sounds similar to the English name Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon Zara Kwon. Amara tested it out. I like it. But she gets my last name too. Okafor. Ji-yoon Zara Okafor Kwon. Deal. He brought her hand to his lips. Our daughter, Ji-yoon. That night they fell asleep in his bed. Really fell asleep. No pretense of separate rooms anymore. His hand rested on her belly, feeling Ji-yoon kick and move. I'm going to be such an overprotective dad, he murmured. Oh, I know. Our daughter's going to hate you when she's a teenager. She can hate me as long as she's safe. Amara turned in his arms, looking at his face in the darkness. Thank you. For what? For trying, for changing, for loving us enough to become a better person. Thank you for giving me a reason to try. They kissed, soft and slow, the baby moving between them like she was trying to join in. Outside, Seoul glittered with 1,000,000 lights. Inside, 3 hearts beat together. Finally, everything felt right. 2 months later, 8 months pregnant. Oh my God, I can't see my feet anymore. Amara waddled around the penthouse like an angry penguin. This is ridiculous. I'm enormous. You're glowing, Jaewon said from the couch. I'm sweating. There's a difference. Still beautiful. You have to say that. I'm carrying your baby. I'd say it even if you weren't. He stood, crossing to her. Dance with me. Dance? I can barely walk. So we'll sway. He pulled her close as her belly would allow, and started moving slowly to non-existent music. Remember the first time we danced? At the club, when I should have run screaming. But you didn't. Worst decision of my life. She smiled. And the best. They swayed together, her head on his chest, his hands supporting her lower back. Ji-yoon kicked enthusiastically between them. She's going to be a dancer, Jae-won said. She's going to be an engineer like her mom. She can be both. She can be anything she wants, as long as it's legal. Definitely legal. I'm done with illegal. He kissed the top of her head. The family business is officially going legitimate. My father agreed. We're selling off the underground operations to the Yakuza and focusing on restaurants and real estate. Amara pulled back to look at him. Really? You did it? I did it. It'll take time to fully transition, but the dangerous parts are done. Our daughter will grow up safe. Jae-won. Tears welled up. You really did it. I told you I would. For you, for Ji-yoon, for us. She kissed him, pouring everything she felt into it. Gratitude, love, hope. The doorbell rang. That's Zara. Amara pulled away. She's bringing her boyfriend over to meet you. Boyfriend? Since when does Zara have a boyfriend? Since last month. His name is Min-jun. He's in our robotics program. Jae-won opened the door to reveal Zara and a tall, lanky Korean guy with nervous eyes and a sweet smile. Jae-won, this is Min-jun. Min-jun, this is the scary crime boss who knocked up my best friend. Zara! Amara swatted her arm. What? I'm introducing you accurately. Min-jun looked like he might faint. Nice to meet you, sir. Jae-won is fine. He shook Min-jun's hand firmly. And I'm not a crime boss anymore. I'm a restaurateur. A restaurateur who used to be a crime boss, Zara clarified. You're not helping, Amara hissed. They sat down to dinner, Korean barbecue that Jae-won had catered from his best restaurant. Min-jun slowly relaxed as they talked about robotics, engineering, and Seoul's tech scene. So how did you two meet? Jae-won asked. Robotics lab, Zara said, leaning into Min-jun's side. He was my project partner after Amara got too pregnant to reach the circuit boards. I helped, Amara protested. You supervised while eating kimchi. Supervising is helping. Everyone laughed. The evening felt normal, easy. Like they were just four young people enjoying dinner, not a former crime boss, a pregnant exchange student, and two engineers trying to figure out life. After dinner, Zara pulled Amara aside while the men cleaned up. You look happy, she said softly. Really happy. I am happy. Terrified and hormonal and enormous, but happy. He's good for you. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but he is. You like him now? I like that he loves you enough to change his entire life. That counts for something. It counts for everything. Amara hugged her best friend. Thank you for being here, through all of it. Please. You're stuck with me forever now. I'm going to be the cool Auntie Z who teaches Ji-yoon all the bad words. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes. They returned to find Jae-won and Min-jun talking quietly in Korean. Both men looked up when they entered, smiling. What were you talking about? Zara asked suspiciously. Business, Jae-won said innocently. What kind of business? The legal kind. I'm investing in Min-jun's robotics startup. You have a startup? Zara spun to Min-jun. I was going to tell you, he said sheepishly. It's still in early stages, but Jae-won thinks it has potential. It has massive potential, Jae-won corrected. I'm putting in initial capital. Min-jun keeps full creative control. Amara watched them, warmth spreading through her chest. This was family, chosen family built from broken beginnings. Later, after Zara and Min-jun left, Amara and Jae-won lay in bed together. That was nice, she said. Having friends over. Feeling normal. We can have normal now. He stroked her hair. No more danger, no more secrets, just us and the life we're building. I like the sound of that. Ji-yoon kicked hard, making them both laugh. She's got opinions, Jae-won said, pressing a kiss to Amara's belly. Just like her mom. She's going to have us wrapped around her tiny finger. Completely. He moved back up to kiss Amara properly, just like her mom. They fell asleep tangled together, the baby moving between them, the city lights painting their room in silver and gold. 3 weeks later, 8.5 months pregnant, Amara's water broke during her advanced robotics final exam. "Oh no," she whispered, staring at the puddle spreading around her chair. Professor Han looked over. His eyes went wide. "Is that my water?" "Yeah." Amara stood carefully. "I'm so sorry. I'll reschedule." "You will not reschedule. You're having a baby." He started herding everyone out. "Class dismissed. Miss Okafor is in labor. But the exam, I'm giving everyone an A. Go to the hospital." Zara grabbed Amara's bag while calling Jae-won. "Code baby, I repeat, code baby." "On my way," Jae-won's voice came through the speaker. 10 minutes. "We don't have 10 minutes. Her water broke." 7 minutes. He made it in 5, screeching to a halt outside the engineering building. Minho jumped out to open the back door, helping Amara inside. "Breathe," Jae-won said, pulling into traffic. "Remember the breathing exercises." "I am breathing." Amara gripped his hand hard as a contraction hit. Oh God, this hurts." "I know, baby, I know. We're almost there." They made it to Asan Medical Center in record time. The staff rushed Amara into a delivery room while Jae-won called his father, his mother, and approximately everyone in his contact list. "She's 3 centimeters dilated," a nurse announced. "It's going to be a while." A while turned out to be 8 hours. 8 hours of contractions, of breathing exercises, of Jae-won holding Amara's hand and letting her curse at him in both English and the Korean swear words she'd picked up. "I hate you," she sobbed during a particularly bad contraction. "This is your fault." "I know, I'm sorry." He wiped her forehead with a cold cloth. "You're doing so well." "Don't patronize me." "I'm not, I swear, you're amazing." Zara sat on her other side, coaching her through breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. "I know how to breathe." "Then do it." At 11:47 p.m., Dr. Park finally said the words they'd been waiting for. "You're fully dilated. Time to push." Everything blurred together. Pain, pressure. Jae-won's voice in her ear telling her she could do this. Zara counting. Dr. Park giving instructions. And then, at 12:23 a.m., a baby's cry filled the room. "It's a girl!" Dr. Park held up a tiny, screaming, perfect baby. "Congratulations!" They placed Ji-yoon on Amara's chest. She was small and pink and covered in vernix, and absolutely beautiful. Dark hair plastered to her head, eyes squinted shut, little fists waving. "Hi, baby girl," Amara sobbed. "Hi, Ji-yoon. We've been waiting for you." Jae-won leaned over them both, tears streaming down his face. "She's perfect, Amara, she's absolutely perfect." "She has your nose. She has your beautiful skin. She has both our stubbornness. We're in trouble." They laughed through their tears, staring at their daughter. Their miracle. Their impossible, perfect miracle. Dr. Park let them have a few minutes before taking Ji-yoon to clean her up and do the standard newborn checks. 8 pounds, 2 ounces, 20 inches long, perfectly healthy. When they brought her back, wrapped in a pink blanket, Jae-won held his daughter for the first time. He looked terrified, awestruck, completely in love. "Hi, Ji-yoon," he whispered in Korean. "I'm your dad. I'm going to mess up a lot. I'm going to be overprotective and probably embarrassing. But I promise I'll love you more than anything in this world. You and your mom. You're everything." Amara watched him rock their daughter, his massive hands so gentle, his voice so soft. This man who'd done terrible things, who'd manipulated and lied and controlled. This man who'd changed everything for them, who'd given up his dangerous life, who'd learned to love the right way. "I forgive you," Amara said suddenly. Jaewon looked up, eyes wide. "What?" "For how we started, for the lies, for everything. I forgive you, Jaewon." "Amara, you became the man I needed you to be, the man Ji-yoon needs you to be. That's all that matters now." He carefully placed Ji-yoon in her bassinet and moved to Amara's bedside, taking her hands. "I don't deserve your forgiveness." "Probably not, but you have it anyway." "I love you." He kissed her softly. "I love you so much." "I love you too." A knock on the door interrupted them. Jaewon's parents entered, followed by Zara and Min-jun. "Where's my granddaughter?" Dae-jung demanded, his stern face melting when he saw the bassinet. For the next hour, they passed Ji-yoon around, everyone taking turns holding her, marveling at her tiny perfection. Zara cried. Min-jun took approximately 300 photos. Jaewon's mother planned a traditional Korean Baek-il celebration for when Ji-yoon turned 100 days old. Finally, the nurses shooed everyone out so Amara could rest. Jaewon stayed, setting up camp in the recliner beside her bed. Ji-yoon slept in her bassinet between them, making tiny baby noises. "We did it," Amara whispered in the darkness. "We made a whole person. We made the most perfect person. She's going to keep us up all night. I don't care. I'll never sleep again if it means I get to watch her. That's not sustainable. I'll learn to function without sleep." Amara smiled. "You're going to be such an annoying helicopter dad." 100%. He reached over, lacing his fingers through hers. "Thank you, Amara, for giving me this, for giving me her, for giving me a reason to be better. Thank you for becoming better." They sat in silence, holding hands, watching their daughter sleep. Outside, Seoul sparkled with life and possibility. Inside, a new family had begun. 3 months later. "No, no, no, Ji-yoon, we do not eat the stuffed elephant." Amara rescued the soggy toy from her daughter's mouth. Ji-yoon responded by laughing, a sound that made everything in the world worth it, and immediately reaching for the elephant again. "She's got your determination," Jaewon said from the doorway, carrying coffee. "She's got your stubbornness." Amara took the cup gratefully. "Thank you. I've been up since 5 a.m. "I know, I heard her crying. Why didn't you wake me?" "Because you had that meeting at 7. Someone needs to be functional." He sat beside her on the floor of the nursery, where Ji-yoon was having tummy time. Their daughter had discovered rolling over last week and now refused to stay still for more than 10 seconds. "I have news," Jaewon said. "The family business transition is complete. Everything illegal has been sold or shut down. Kwon Enterprises is officially legitimate." Amara stared at him. "Really? It's done?" "It's done. We're out." She launched herself at him, kissing him hard. Ji-yoon squealed at the sudden movement. "Sorry, baby girl," Amara laughed, pulling back. "Mommy's just excited." "Me too." Jaewon picked up Ji-yoon, who immediately tried to eat his shirt. "Hear that, princess? Your dad is officially boring now. No more dangerous business, just restaurants and real estate." "You could never be boring," Amara said. "Give it time. Wait till I'm carpooling and going to PTA meetings." "I can't wait to see you at PTA meetings. You'll intimidate all the other parents." "Good. They'll stay away from our daughter. She's 3 months old. Never too early to establish dominance." They laughed, and Ji-yoon laughed with them, not understanding, but happy anyway. That afternoon, they met Zara and Min-jun at Han River Park for a picnic. The spring weather was perfect, warm and sunny with cherry blossoms falling like snow. "Look at our babies," Zara cooed, taking Ji-yoon from Amara. "You're getting so big." "She gained 2 pounds last month. Doctor says she's in the 90th percentile for weight." "That's because Grandma Kwon keeps sneaking her extra formula," Jaewon said dryly. "I've had to have 3 conversations about appropriate feeding amounts." "Your mom loves her. Let her spoil a little." "A little is fine, But Ji-yoon doesn't need a solid gold rattle. She has a solid gold rattle, too. My mother has no chill. Min-jun spread out the picnic blanket while they talked. He'd grown more comfortable around Jae-won over the past few months, even starting to joke with him. "How's the startup going?" Jae-won asked. "Great. We just secured a contract with Samsung. Thanks to your investment, we're actually going to make it." "I knew you would. The technology is solid." They spent the afternoon eating kimbap and watching Ji-yoon grab at cherry blossom petals. Other families picnicked around them. Kids flew kites. Couples walked hand in hand. Normal. Everything was normal. "I can't believe this is my life," Amara said quietly, watching Jae-won make silly faces at their daughter. "A year ago, I was just a student. Now I have a family. A whole life here." "Do you regret it?" Zara asked. "Coming to Seoul? Everything that happened?" Amara looked at Ji-yoon, giggling in her father's arms, at Jae-won, who'd changed everything to be the man they needed, at her best friend and her boyfriend, who'd become family. "No," she said. "I don't regret any of it. Even the hard parts, even the painful parts. It all led here." "To new beginnings," Zara said, raising her juice box. "To new beginnings," they echoed, clinking their drinks together. 6 months later, Ji-yoon's first birthday. The penthouse was packed with people: family, friends, colleagues from the university, business partners from Kwon Enterprises. Everyone had come to celebrate Ji-yoon's first birthday. The party had a theme: Around the World, celebrating both her Korean and Nigerian heritage. Korean traditional decorations mixed with Nigerian prints, tables full of tteokbokki and jollof rice, kimchi and suya, Korean rice cakes, and Nigerian puff-puff. Ji-yoon wore a tiny hanbok in Nigerian print fabric, custom made by Jae-won's mother, who'd taken her role as grandmother very seriously. "She looks like a little princess," Amara's mother said via video call from Lagos. She'd been unable to travel for the party, but they'd set up a tablet so she could watch. "My grandbaby is so beautiful." "She is," Amara agreed, bouncing Ji-yoon on her hip. "And she knows it. Already has everyone wrapped around her finger." "Just like her mother," Jae-won appeared, sliding an arm around Amara's waist. "We're ready for the doll ceremony." The traditional Korean first birthday ritual involved placing various objects in front of the baby. Whichever object Ji-yoon picked would predict her future. They set her on a mat surrounded by options: money, wealth, a book, scholar, a microphone, entertainer, a stethoscope, doctor, and a small robot, engineer. Everyone gathered around, phones out, while Ji-yoon looked at the objects with serious concentration. She reached for the robot immediately. "That's my girl," Amara cheered. But Ji-yoon wasn't done. She grabbed the robot with one hand and the money with the other. Jae-won grinned. "An engineer and a businesswoman. She's going to rule the world." "God help us all," Dae-jung said dryly, but his eyes were soft watching his granddaughter. The party continued late into the evening. Music played. People danced. Ji-yoon got passed around from person to person, soaking up attention like a tiny sponge. Finally, after everyone left and the caterers had cleaned up, Amara and Jae-won sat on the balcony while Ji-yoon slept in her nursery. "1 year," Amara said. "Can you believe it's been 1 year? Best year of my life, even the terrifying parts. Like when she had colic for 3 months, even that." He pulled her closer. "Though I could have done without the projectile vomiting incident." "Which one?" "There were several. All of them." They laughed quietly, not wanting to wake their daughter. "I have something for you," Jae-won said. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Amara's breath caught. "Jae-won, let me do this properly this time." He slid off the couch onto one knee. "Amara Okafor, you came into my life like lightning, bright and powerful and impossible to ignore. I was a man living in darkness, and you brought light. I did everything wrong in the beginning. I lied. I manipulated. I tried to control you because I was too damaged to know how to love you properly." Tears streamed down Amara's face. "But you gave me a chance. You forgave me. You let me become the man worthy of you and our daughter. And now I want to spend the rest of my life being that man, being your partner, your friend, your husband if you'll have me." He opened the box, revealing a stunning ring, a diamond surrounded by smaller stones in colors representing both Korean and Nigerian traditions. "Will you marry me?" "Yes." She didn't hesitate. "Yes, yes, 1,000 times, yes." He slid the ring onto her finger and kissed her, deep and loving and full of promise. "I love you," he whispered against her lips. "I'll love you forever." "I love you too, even though you're dramatic and overprotective and yours, completely yours, and mine." They sat on the balcony under the Seoul stars, holding each other, planning their future. Inside, Ji-yoon slept peacefully, surrounded by love and safety and possibility. A year ago, Amara had woken up pregnant and terrified, her world destroyed by lies. Now she had everything: a daughter, a fiancé, a life she'd never imagined but couldn't imagine living without. Love had a funny way of growing in the darkest places, of turning disasters into miracles, of making broken beginnings into beautiful endings. Epilogue. 2 years later, Ji-yoon Zara Okafor Kwan, you put that down right now. 3-year-old Ji-yoon looked at her mother, looked at the expensive vase she was holding, and very deliberately tipped it toward the edge of the table. "Don't you dare," Jae-won said, appearing in the doorway. Ji-yoon grinned mischievously, a smile that was pure her father, and set the vase down carefully, then ran to him, arms up. "Appa, up!" He scooped her up, pretending to be stern. "You can't give your heart attacks, princess. She's pregnant again." "Baby?" Ji-yoon poked Amara's very pregnant belly. "Yes, baby. Your little brother." "No brother. Want sister." "Well, you're getting a brother. Sorry, kiddo." Ji-yoon pouted exactly like Jae-won did when he didn't get his way. It was scary how much she'd inherited from him. Zara and Min-jun arrived for dinner, Zara sporting her own baby bump. She was 6 months pregnant, due 3 months after Amara. "Our kids are going to grow up together," Zara said, hugging Amara carefully around their respective bellies. "Just like we planned." Planned is a strong word, more like hoped. Same thing. They ate dinner on the balcony, Korean barbecue and Nigerian pepper soup, blending their worlds the way they'd blended their lives. Ji-yoon entertained everyone with her new words, mostly in Korean, some in English and a few in Igbo, that Amara's mother had taught her via video chat. After Zara and Min-jun left, Amara found Jae-won in Ji-yoon's room, watching their daughter sleep. "Thinking deep thoughts?" she asked, slipping her arms around his waist. "Just remembering." He turned, pulling her close. 3 years ago, you woke up in my bed, pregnant and terrified. I'd done the worst thing possible, stolen your choice, manipulated everything. And now look at us, married, 2 kids, stupidly happy. Are you happy? Deliriously? She kissed him softly. You became the man I needed, the father our children need. That's all that matters. I still can't believe you forgave me. I can't believe you changed your entire life for us. I think that makes us even. He laughed quietly. I love you, Amara Okafor Kwan. I love you too, you reformed crime boss turned boring suburban dad. I'm not boring. You literally organized the PTA bake sale last month. That doesn't make me boring. It makes me involved. It makes you adorable. Take that back. Never. They kissed, laughing, holding each other in the darkness while their daughter slept and their son kicked enthusiastically in Amara's belly. Outside, Seoul sparkled with infinite possibilities. Inside, love had won, against all odds, despite terrible beginnings. Through pain and forgiveness and growth, love had won. And that made everything, The lies, the manipulation, the fear, the struggle, worth it. Because sometimes the worst beginnings led to the best endings. Sometimes broken people could heal each other. Sometimes disasters could become miracles. And sometimes love really was enough.